The Berlin Wall Trail is a 160-kilometre pathway encircling the former West Berlin. The trail traces the course of the former GDR border fortifications which enveloped the former western half of the city. In most sections, this hiking and bike trail runs along the former patrol roads used by GDR border troops and other roads used by customs officers of West Berlin. So that there is the marker of the footprint where the wall was. So originally it went all the way around the outside of here. Followed that trail there. And that headed down there. Which is where I'm going now. So it headed off down here, past the Reichstag. So I can't get through there, unfortunately. That's where it goes. So I'm currently walking around with my big camera out, looking like a proper tourist. So the wall came past there, past the Reichstag, and then came along this riverbank here. This is the Spree. So all this here is the new government quarter. Very impressive it is too. Nice to see it finally finished. So we follow the route of the wall down here, across this bridge here, and then it followed the riverbank round there on the other side. I mean, if you had any idea what this area looked like 40 years ago, you would be stunned by its transformation. This is a kind of true futuristic city we are now walking in, and no longer akin to something from 1984. So I am just following the route now. After all the months of planning, this is it. I mean, the wall went round here, following the line of these new buildings, and then it takes a right turn just up here. So it's even colder than yesterday, and I've already used quite a lot of batteries. I don't care. So these are the kind of first way markers, or trig points if you like. So, as you can see, you cannot follow the trail exactly. It does run into buildings here and there, but not by much. It's weird to think that it was right here. So, the station I arrived at yesterday is Berlin Central Station. A huge, huge project. And just the scale of it is incredible. I think easily the biggest train station I've ever been in. So the wall ran down by the waterside here, up for another mile or so I think, and then it cuts inland a little bit to the east, and already it's significantly quieter. So there's a lot of beeping going on down by Brandenburg Gate, lots of car beeping. Berliners are slowly turning into New Yorkers. And it's already just a lovely place to be. A lovely place to walk around. It's very serene, it's very peaceful. You know, it feels safe. Incredibly progressive, obviously. How could it not be? You know, they basically, once they started this city from scratch, you know, there was still quite a bit of it left. But it is very much Europe's closest concept of a kind of city of the future, if you like. You know, Copenhagen is very cool. You know, Scandinavia do things incredibly well. But I think for the size of its population, you know, Germany is massive. So there's about 80 million people here. So for the size of the country, you know, it really does a lot of things right. So I haven't been to this area before, apart from a train station back there, and I did once stay in a hotel a couple of blocks over there, but this area, this side, no. So I'm currently heading north out of central Berlin, and although a lot of today is walking out of Berlin, I will take a kind of right turn in a bit and head east and kind of cut a little bit back into central Berlin, but that's the area where the Berlin Wall memorial is, so I really need to check that out. So I couldn't visit the Berlin Wall memorial yesterday because it's closed on a Monday, but it is open today and it opens at 10 a.m. So I think it's probably coming up to 10 a.m. now. But I am a little bit behind schedule. I had planned on being out of the hotel by 6:30 this morning, but I wasn't. I'm not even sure it was 7:30. I was just so tired. That's what happens when you don't sleep the night before. So the Berlin Wall Trail is marked by these very distinctive orange signposts. So we'll be seeing plenty of them along the way. Here. And so there you see some original parts of the Berlin Wall. There was kind of two walls actually, there wasn't just one wall. There was the smaller of the two walls, the kind of cheaper wall, which is like this, which is concrete sections, and then there was the death strip. The death strip was of varying widths, but then at the other side of the death strip there was the taller wall, which was a very imposing structure. Probably you'll see it, concrete with a circular thing on top which made it impossible to climb over. Just try and picture it. Yeah, so there's quite, I can see more sections down there. So this was a piece of wall that we saw like this. Then all this is the death strip. And then this wall here, the imposing taller wall. And this path, this service road that runs through the middle of the death strip all the way around, plus a couple of the service roads at each side, make up what is now the Berlin Wall Trail. I have to be careful about how much I'm filming here. I can't film all of it, so I'll just curate parts of it as I'm going along. I'll do my best to get some interesting sections. So from the Brandenburg Gate I've been heading kind of north, but I've now turned east. So I will go eastwards for about 3/4 of a mile, and then I will turn south and kind of head back into Berlin for a little bit, and that is where the Berlin Wall Memorial is. It's now 10 a.m. And of my 11.5 mile walk today, I have about 8 miles remaining, so plenty of time. Take a left here and head east again. Art installations that you see in all cities now. See, it's just details like this that I look for in cities. All cities have their own kind of colour palette. You know, Berlin's is all minor chords. You know, London, New York, they're all kind of power chords. If you're a musician, you know what I'm talking about. What I mean is to say is that Berliners. It's nice, very nice, nice little detail. What I mean to say is Berliners don't choose kind of predictable colour schemes for their decorative purposes. You know, there are kind of lots of weird browns and purples and kind of off yellows. Yeah. Weird beiges. Colours that you think would never work. You know, you look at that on a colour palette or a Pantone thing and you go, ugh, that's not a nice colour. But they are. You know, it works here. I think their choices of colours are far better than ours. Yeah, all European cities are the same. You go to Copenhagen and they have their own kind of colour palette. You go to Paris, they have theirs. London has one. The wall came down there. I don't think it went around the roundabout. It might have done. But then it came round there and then headed south again. So, we are now heading south again. Well, again, I think it's the first time on this route that we are heading south. So we have been kind of leaving central Berlin for the first couple of hours, and then we kind of skirted eastwards for a little bit, across the top of it. But now we are going south, back towards the centre again. But not too far. About a mile down here is the Berlin Wall Memorial, at which point we will turn eastwards again and head out east for another mile before heading north, and basically heading north for the rest of the day. You can hear children playing over there. It's that unmistakable sound of children at play. It doesn't matter where you are in the world or what culture you are from, the sound of children playing is the same everywhere. So we are now coming up to the Berlin Wall Memorial, where we will find some original sections of the Berlin Wall, plus a kind of small section which includes how the death strip was and how that worked. Berlin, city of contrasts, city of conscience, city of contradictions, a city of violence, past and future in the singular time, a city of big ideas, a city of imagination. Berlin is all of us. And so the school children are out in force. And it's good to see, actually. Children learning how barbarous and ridiculous human nature can be. This is a section of death strip. With the wall running that side, and there would have been another one over there, and all this section here was the death strip. And those lampposts there are original. Now it is a very interesting little memorial stroke park area. But you do get a sense of the scale of it. And behind that wall there is a real section, a proper section, which shows exactly how it was. And we'll go and have a look at that in a bit. Faces of some of the many people that tried to escape. I mean, I'm standing in an area now where if you somehow manage to breach that wall or that wall, and you were caught in this death strip, then you were shot on the spot. It's called a death strip for a reason. Original service road heading through the middle. So there's another section of outer wall there. This section here was, this area of death strip was huge. So the corners of the buffer zone, if you like, the death strips, were very wide, and they were made purposely as wide as possible at these points so that snipers had a clear line of fire from the various watchtowers. I think what you have to understand here as well is it's not just the front line and the Cold War between East Berlin and West Berlin. It's the front line in the Cold War between the whole of the West and the East, essentially. It wasn't just the Soviet Union. You know, at certain points China was in that side as well. And of course, the various little proxy wars, Korea, Vietnam, where the bulk of the people died in armed conflicts. But the front line was not there, the front line was here. No doubt about it. You know, the main standoff between the East and the West was here, in Berlin. The wall wasn't built just to divide Berlin into the East and West. It was actually built to keep East Berliners prisoner in the GDR. So, you know, West Berlin was a kind of prison within a prison. It's just mad. Onwards. Perfectly preserved section of wall, and it is perfectly preserved as well. There's no graffiti on this. That section of preserved death strip ran around the perimeter of West Berlin for 105 miles, 160 kilometers. Tower up there. Let me see what it looked like. So I think a lot of the attempted escapes and successful escapes actually happened in this area, including some of the tunnelling. A lot of people escape through tunnels. You've got to admire human ingenuity. Some more original wall there. I mean, Honecker was convinced that this wall was going to last for another 100 years at the point at which he said it in the late 80s. But it's knackered. The bits that I've seen that remain of it, there's no way it would have lasted another 100 years. I mean, it is literally falling to pieces. Rushed job, you see. So I am heading eastwards for about a mile, and then I will take a left and head north, and I will head north for the rest of the day. So, here's my left turn, and I go down there. So I'm now heading north, and I would say I've got about 6 miles left of today's section. I mean, it's not a big section today, it's just, you know, about 11 miles. I'm not including my little strolls to the hotels. But I didn't want to go crazy on the first day and try and do 20 miles. Thought I'd ease my way into it. So, like much of the Death Strip, a lot of it has been kind of redeveloped into sections of public park. And this is just a really nice space to walk in. And like much of Berlin, most of Berlin in fact, it's just a very successful urban environment. I mean, the trail so far is brilliantly marked, you can't really miss it. It goes underground at some sections, but so far very well signposted. Berlin does feel like a giant park actually, just with a city in parts of it. But it does feel, if you go to a nice park in an English city, or a capital like Hyde Park or something like that, Green Park, and everybody's chilled out, relaxed, enjoying themselves. Berlin is like that. It's just a wonderful place to be. So I haven't seen anybody zooming past me on an e-bike yet. Okay, so I've been here now nearly 2 days and I've not seen one idiot on an e-bike with a balaclava on. See, I'm clearly from a country where the crime is basically out of control. Just lost our way completely. So this is all Death Strip here. You know, there's a nice children's play area in it. It's got beagles in it. See, it's just utterly transformed from a place that was so sinister and a death sentence for anyone who stepped foot on it. This is why I love Berlin so much. It's the most optimistic city in the world, and proof that humans will come back from the abyss fitter, healthier and more productive. This area is lovely. Very much reminds me of the nicer parts of East London on a Sunday. Like, it's Shoreditch. Around there where I used to live. Stoke Newington. I haven't seen a Dalston yet. Some sort of Wild West playgroup. See, they really know how to do kindergartens here, don't they? Look at this. Look at that. Vegetable gardens and everything. Amazing. I mean, we're kind of outside of central Berlin now, and this is where actual Berliners live. We're away from all the touristy stuff. This is just where people live. So some more section there, original wall. I mean, was it really worth it? I mean, just to divide up a massive infrastructure space like this is just a logistical nightmare. You'd have to be mad to do it. It's crazy. You know, you say they have to be mad to do it, but they did do it. You know, it wasn't some kind of science fiction film or science fiction novel. It really happened. I mean, to a young person, it probably just seems like madness. And it is madness. It is madness. That is the whole point. You know, us people living today don't know the meaning of hard times. More wall. So the allotments here are like kind of mini societies. They're like little towns within the town, all their little allotment spaces and their little sheds which they've all done up. Some of them, you know, you could live in a lot of them. I'm sure a lot of people do. You don't need 5 or 6 bathrooms and all the fucking fixtures that go in them. That one there. Mm. See, if that was the UK, all those bikes would have been angle grounded from the fence. Walls often don't need to be made from concrete and have guard towers. Has to be said, you know, the UK is now a very, 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 very rich city. In London and the southeast, the surrounding area, all very, very affluent. But all that is surrounded by a pretty rundown, pretty poor country. In some areas, poorer than Eastern Europe. And it just takes coming to a place like this to realise how bad things have got in the UK in the last 10 or 15 years. Nice brown. They do have abandoned shopping trolleys though. So I have about 4 miles left of this walk now. Yeah. Just need to take my time. See, even the piles of wood have a beauty to them. Couple of chairs for people to come and have a little chat, probably staff members from over there when they're on their break. Bees. So it's basically like a high street for bees. It's like a main road. Apartment blocks. Very cute. Oh, we have pigs. Hello, pig. So, another kindergarten. Incredible. You can have a society that is like German, you know, like this, which is safe and prosperous. When you invest in your children like this. Hello, sheep. How are you? Yeah, they don't have anything like this in Blackpool. I suppose, I mean, we've got the Pleasure Beach, you know. Not quite the same, though. All right along this curbside, it seems. But I'm not going to stay here because of the oncoming traffic. And so far, it's just been a thoroughly interesting and fascinating day. I mean, I did do some of this walk on Google Earth. But, you know, if you think it's the same, or anything like the same, then you're completely delusional. So there are bits of wall over there. They're probably repurposed. So I think what happened when the wall did come down, the first thing that happened was the locals just started removing parts of it and tearing it to pieces, and taking what they could and using it in their like back gardens. So a lot of people's back fences are parts of the ex-Berlin Wall. So I have about 2 miles to go now. It's about just after 1, so as I suspected, a pretty straightforward, easy first day on the Berlin Wall Trail. Stage 1 complete. The first day of my Berlin Wall Trail is over, and now we'll be back here, this very same spot, tomorrow morning. So until then, I will just say Auf Wiedersehen, pet.